Can you write a poem about the heart and love and make it not trite? Maybe. So we have a poem today from E. Cummings. I think this is the first poem from E. Cummings to appear on the channel. It is known as I Carry Your Heart With Me, I Carry It In. And it reads as such. So before we get into that, I have two talking points for this poem that I think they're completely unrelated, but the talking points are compelled as if from within me, and I could not make this video about this poem without mentioning both of them. So there is that maybe to look forward to, or maybe to make fun of me for at the conclusion of the video. The poem in question reads as such. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that it's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. So this may seem trite, and indeed maybe it is trite, right? I think that probably, at least on some levels, it is. But I think there's something deeper here, because to carry your heart in my heart, what does that mean? Obviously, it's not literal. Obviously, this is a metaphor. But what does that metaphor mean? What are we actually talking about with this poem? The obvious go-to is love, right? I carry your love in my love. The heart equals love. Ya da 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 da. And surely that interpretation is there to be had. That interpretation is able to be reached with this poem. I do not, however, believe that's what we have going on here. This idea of I carry your heart in my heart is, I think, a little bit different than that. I think there's a different context for heart. You often think of heart with love, but there is a very common question that also employs the word heart. What do you want in your heart? If you are faced with a difficult decision, if you are faced with options on a very large decision level, the question someone close to you will almost undoubtedly ask you is simply, what do you want in your heart? And what that question is really asking is, what do you think is the best for you individually? Not what makes the most sense, what is the most logical, what is the most sound decision. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means what is the most you conclusion that you can come to from this. Maybe it's not the thing that would keep you up with the Joneses. Maybe it's not the thing that makes the most financial sense or puts the most in the bank. Maybe it's not those things. If I ask you, what does your heart tell you? It means, what is the most you decision? So, if I were to carry your heart with me and carry it in my heart, on some level, on some real level, on some profound level, on some metaphorical level, on some actual level that you feel, that is feelable, to carry your heart in my heart means that I want, what do you want? I want what is good for you. I want that answer, which is the most you answer that I can come to, the most you solution that I can come to. And so this becomes this phrase, I carry your heart with me, I carry it in my heart. I am never without it anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. That entire first stanza there is basically an admission of this interpretation of the poem. It is not about love, not strictly. It is not about want, not really. It is about one person carrying the authentic thing with them that is the other. This makes it seem, this interpretation, a little bit more like the darling in question, the dear at hand, is deceased, or at least gone from the speaker. To say that I carry your wants with me and I am doing my best to act on them does suggest that the your in question, the you that is here, the heart that is not the speaker's, belongs to someone who is no longer with them. The other thing that I have to talk about here, and this is sort of a fuddy-duddy point, and everywhere I found it, there's no space here. Everywhere I found it, there's no space here. Everywhere I found it, there's no space here. So I'm assuming that this is the actual print run version of this poem as the author had intended. But even without that, we have this hanging stanza here of one word all the way to the end there. We have all of the lowercase i's. We have all of these things going on in the poem that are not standard, that are not standardized, that are not normal, that are not usual. That's fine, right? That's cool. You can do that. It's poetry, man. Yeah, go with it. But I defy you to tell me what they add. Doing it because you can do it is one thing, but that doesn't mean that it has to be respected. Doing it because you can do it, yeah, that's cool. What does this add? The hanging I fear there between stanzas 1 and 2, maybe it's the same stanza, it's hard to tell really, but I can see a little bit of that. To not capitalize the I's in your poem suggests that the speaker is holding the speaker's self in lower regard. The speaker does not think highly of the self, at least not highly enough, to go with the convention of capitalizing the I whenever it is used. Okay, I can get that. In the service of this poem, what that would suggest is that the speaker themselves holds the beloved other in higher regard than the self. Okay, yeah, no, I can get it. I can be down with that. But these weird little decisions, they have to add something. They don't have to. They don't have to. I shouldn't say it that way. If they don't add something, probably you're doing it in a haphazard way. And that, realizing that the writer, his or herself, the author, his or herself, has left the piece in a haphazard way is disrespectful to the reader. I'm not going to accuse the author here of that. I'm just going to say that if this is a decision that you as a writer will make, as an author will make, you don't have to explain it, but you have to have an explanation. Does that make any sense? You don't have to tell anybody why you did it, but it better make sense to you. That's all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, there is literature on the channel almost every day, right? Right now, it's been every day for about 500 consecutive days now, but there will be poetry on the channel every Monday, and I hope to have you back for the next one.